said, man, like their team's watching you. And I was, okay. Like I didn't think it would happen as fast as it did, if at all. And again, I had never like talked to a scout. If there was a scout, like I had experienced they put it up and kind of just like immediately lost interest and never put the gun back up. But I got a text from one of my old managers and he said, just keep your phone on you today. So, I got to the park, getting ready for stretch, had my phone on me. Like all the guys are kind of on the field and one of them for sure knew something was up. And my phone starts to ring and it's a San Francisco number. And I took the call. He said, hey Spence, it's Kyle Haynes with the San Francisco Giants. We're buying your contract. Trying to just, keep it together. Like I really don't even remember the conversation like in super depth because it was like, oh my God, like it's just going like this. It's like, I never had that. So that was just so cool that someone like finally acknowledged that I was good enough to play at that level.
We have a debut, Spencer Bivens, he's not young.
Well, 29 years old. Well, this is a great story. I mean, he's been all over the place, including France. I didn't even know they had a league over there.
So I got Spencer January 2022 and worked with him for a couple of years. And he had been pretty much everywhere at that point. He had been...
First team in pro ball was the Savigny Lions in France, and then it was the Steel City Slam and Sammys in 2020.
I believe 2 different JUCOs, 2 or 3 different Indy Ball leagues.
Washington Wild Things, Lexington Legends, West Virginia Power.
4 or 5 Indy Ball teams.
Gastonia.
7, 8, 9 teams within a 4-ish year span at that point.
I think that was it. Indy Ball wise, but yeah. Like at this time, like my car's in Charleston, West Virginia, like all packed up. So I don't really know what's going on. Like I only have like 2 weeks worth of clothes. Yeah, that was having like a little bit of a mental breakdown at this point, like in my hotel room that first night. But then when I came to the field and I met all the guys, it felt like the right spot finally. And it was after our last game. A lot of guys had, cleaned out their lockers and left. So we were all kind of just having some beers, playing cards, like finishing up the year. And I was talking about, I don't really know what my plans are. And all of them were encouraging me to like really put in a serious effort. I had one real off season before that and, got a taste for what it takes. So I went all in with that. And I knew about tread. I knew like the success it had with pitchers and developing them and their arsenals and their stuff. So I felt like I needed to make some serious changes.
Yeah, so he started with tread basically to, why anyone starts with tread. Like they feel like they have a lot more in the tank. He was, a really athletic dude, had a lot of potential, high ceiling, but as a whole, the numbers were just average across the board. So
we were talking about things I do well. And at the time my delivery was like pretty standard, straight up and down leg lift. Like I didn't load my hips well.
Mechanics were huge for him, like really pushy, jumpy back leg, really early torso, really kind of climby, pushy arm. But the throw just had a lot of, clear minor issues.
So like he was walking me through that, like step by step, week by week.
Gave him a couple upper half drills to kind of fix like the climby, pushy arm, and we would start off with med balls and make sure he kind of got the feel for how his lower half was supposed to work. And then we would kind of transition into the throw and make sure he could keep that same lower half with actually throwing a baseball versus a med ball. So.
And there were some things with my plyo drills that he like helped point out, and that just was like immediate click. And slowly but surely, things are starting to feel a little bit more powerful. Like I'm doing this by myself in a facility, and I have no radar gun. I really don't know if it's working. I'm just hoping.
So he came in and we were playing catch for the first time. It was the first time he had been in-house. Throwing, just the 4-seam, just playing regular catch, and you could tell it was just like not very good, just flat.
I was throwing 4-seam fastballs here and curveballs, and like that just doesn't fit who I am.
Part of the reason the 4-seam was the way it was because he's just a very natural, like has a big supination bias. So once he started, gripping the 2-seam and mixing that in,
because he didn't believe my 2-seam move. You can ask him about that. He didn't believe my 2-seam move based off video. And then we played catch, and that changed his mind real quick.
and it was like perfect for that like seam shifted wake profile. Yeah, Justin, the mechanics kind of led to the slot changing a little bit. He went from like 3 or 4 very, you know, probably below average shapes to 4 pretty elite pitch shapes.
So when I came to Gastonia that second year, I remember I had faced a few guys that were on our team. One in particular was Stuart Levy, and he was catching me and he was like, dude, you are not the same guy. Like, what happened? And then we had our first game, our first spring training game, and I was 94, 95. And I saw it on the board in center field, and I was like, wow, I've never seen those numbers. At that point, I knew like, this could be real.
I mean, he was basically a guy that was probably on his way out of Indy Ball. The year before in 21, he had pitched like 90 innings, given up like 140 hits. So once the velo started ticking up and he had a whole new arsenal, it was pretty much like, yeah, pretty much a complete 180, I guess you could say.
I felt like finally I'm the guy I'm supposed to be. I went into 22, like, you know, if I didn't get picked up, like I could have lived with that because I was finally who I was supposed to be. It was just awesome because I had supportive teammates that have seen the growth.
I was pretty shocked when I figured out that I think he texted me or called me, told me he got signed. So pretty shocking at first, but it was really exciting to see, like, you know, kind of his like last ditch effort to keep playing baseball like really pay off. And, you know, wasn't sure if he would still be playing again to 6 to 12 months later, you know, joining an affiliate team. It was pretty awesome. It just shows you like how many guys are truly that close to just making a couple minor changes and seeing that much of an increase in performance.
And now I'm here.
Got him. Started to rain. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Swing and a miss.
Spencer Bivens making his MLB debut, and it's been a long time coming, Spencer.
It was an unbelievable moment that I had with him, but it's been crazy. It's hard to. I'm trying to just soak it in. It's been unbelievable.